So what do you do when you have a job where the terrain is too rough for a mower, but it's also too big for a traditional weed eater to handle? Well, DR Power sponsored today's video by sending me the DR Trimmer Mower Pro XLSP. On paper, it promises 5 times the power of a handheld trimmer, a 22-inch cutting width deck, a self-propelled drive, and the thickest cord I've ever used, 175 millimeter. They asked for the test, you be the judge. Let's get to the unboxing. Amazing. Power! Let's talk about what DR Power is promising us with the Pro XLSP. It's powered by a 201cc DR OHV engine rated at 10.3 foot-pounds of torque with electric start. It's self-propelled, variable forward speeds up to 3 miles per hour, and the cutting width is 22 inches with 5 high-to-cut settings ranging from 1.5 to 3.5 inches. The standard head accepts 0.155 and 0.175 pre-cut cord. DR also offers additional blade options like the DuraBlade and the beaver blade for tougher materials, and the deck is offset so that you can trim close along fences or foundations, and it comes with a cast aluminum nose plate that protects it from impacts. Now, it also rides on 14-inch never flat wheels. The handlebars are padded and height adjustable with tilt angle adjustments so you can set it where it's comfortable for you. The whole unit weighs about 83 pounds and it comes with a 2-year residential warranty. So it's not a mower, but it's also not a traditional weed eater. What was this thing actually built to do? Well, according to the manual, the Pro XLSP is designed for green material up to about the thickness of a pencil. That means tall grass, weeds, and overgrowth in places your mower can't handle. Now, from what I'm gathering, this machine is meant for that in-between work. Too tough for a mower and way too much for a handheld trimmer. Let's go over line installation and height of cut. Now, believe it or not, this is where your height of cut adjustments are, ranging from 1.5 inches up to 3.5 inches, increments of 1/2 inch. So let's just say that we wanted to be at the taller end at the 3.5 inches. We're going to put our line in here, and you push on both sides, and then it comes out right here. The trick to this is to make sure that this line here stays even, and just give it a little bit of a pull, and boom, we're done. Now we're gonna repeat on the other side as well. Grab our line, and again, it's just this easy. You put the line in, push on both sides, make sure that we get it even, and then give it a nice pull. Boom. Now, I'm sure you got a good idea about how easy it is to swap this line out when you're needing it to, but they took it a step further. They gave us the quick lock trimmer head. This is an optional accessory. When it comes to using our 155 line or 175 line, it's literally just this simple. You push it in, comes out the other side and doesn't come out. But let's say you installed it incorrectly, or you're at the end of the line, you need to get it out. It literally pulls out just that easy. Now, one of the biggest bonuses for me is you can take the 225 sawtooth line and install it very, very easily. And again, it comes out super easy as well. And this, I'm excited to see at how well it ends up cutting that fresh green grasses or weeds. Now, I love tools like this that give us convenience, and I was a little concerned on a couple of things, how easy it was to install the quick lock trimmer head, and it turned out to be really, really easy. Literally take a bolt out of the bottom and we take the cowlings off and then install the quick head trimmer where we want it. My other concern is if it was going to take away my ability to choose a height of cut. Now, keeping in mind that the trimmer head location establishes where the height of a cut adjustment is, so now we can either put it at the top at 3.5 inches, we can put it at the bottom or even the middle, so you really don't lose it. It's just a fixed position. But about the only thing we have left is to pick a location where we're gonna be testing this out, get the gasoline in the tank, get the oil in the engine, and let's slay some pasture. So here's my thought process. We need to figure out how well it cuts in different scenarios. So staying at one place just isn't gonna cut it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with this. This is kind of your overgrown space with weeds, different types of grasses, just kind of sporadic. So there's a little bit of space between each one of the weeds. Then we're gonna go down there where we have tall fescue that's growing up to 15 inches high, and in some places up to 3 feet. That's gonna be a little bit more dense. This is our green matter area, and we're just gonna kind of see the pros and cons, see how this works. Then we're gonna take it to another place that's more of a pasture. Some of the stuff is overgrowth that has deadhead to it, like some of your barn grass and cheese cheatgrass. Some of it down below in the lower layers is completely green, but it's a lot of dense vegetation. So I really just want to see how the machine handles in different situations, as well as taking along border edges, perimeter areas, along fences, sidewalks, etc. Seriously can't believe I've been using a mower on these type jobs. I mean, look at these results, right? Still got this strip, but I wanted to show you kind of the before and after. I mean, clean cuts, getting through the debris, and oh my gosh, is it fast. Like, I did this entire 2,000 square foot area in maybe 7 minutes. I mean, this thing doesn't stop, it cuts real nice. Let me show you the true value, right, is the pivoting. Take by this AC, look at how close. I got all the way through there without causing any problems. Now, I was a little bit conservative just due to the downspout here, but other than that, I mean, look at that. It's just so easy. But here's the real value of using this machine, is where a lawnmower, I get really worried, especially in areas where you've got these big rocks and just random divots throughout the whole cut. And with this machine, I don't have to worry about any of that. And then, for instance, you get over here with some of the mole holes and the gopher holes, and the two-wheel drive and the front pivoting, it just kind of gets through it. And worst case scenario, I'm breaking line. I'm not bending a mower blade, which I've done in the past. Well, let's keep these tests going. Now, as far as trimming borders, gosh, this is way easier than using a weed whacker. The thing is, the two wheels keeps it nice and straight. So to get on that nice line to make sure that you're getting everything, super easy. The variable throttle is nice too, because the harder you squeeze, the faster it goes. So if you get in an area where you want to be a little bit more precise, you just let off the handle just a little bit and you're able to go a little bit slower to get that precise edge. Before we get into the next segment, you know, we've thrashed through about 2,000 square feet, maybe 3 at the most. And let's see how much line we've lost. I mean, that stuff was probably, I don't know, 1/16 of an inch thick. So not hovering onto that pencil size other than the spurge and the thistle that we went through. And it looks like we lost about 1/4 of an inch of line over 2,000 to 3,000 square feet. So that's actually pretty decent in my book. I think this is gonna work out. And this is the 175 millimeter line. So I feel like this is gonna be a very interesting test. We've got this tall fescue. It's a clumping variety that gets very thick. And this hasn't been cut for probably a couple of weeks. We've got some of these sections coming up to about, I don't know, 15 inches, maybe even a little bit longer. So I'm really interested in seeing how well this machine takes it. And then off to our right, we've got Phragmites that are about 6 feet tall. And so I want to kind of cut into the section just to see what the cord will do. And let's go ahead and test out the 175 millimeter line. And then we'll move it down to the sawtooth blade, that 225, and really see how much of a difference that it makes. Oh man, this is crazy. I've been using the wrong tool for the right job for years. I mean, this is so much faster, especially if you're really just trying to take brush and matter down to a reasonable size. I mean, look at this. Definitely use going over it 1.5 times here and there. But for the most part, I mean, considering I just smoked 500 square feet in less than 45 seconds, I mean, this is pretty impressive. This is really dense grass. I mean, it doesn't really get too much thicker than this. So this right here is what is called a Phragmite, and you can see we're just about to that pencil thickness when it comes to density. So this is actually going to be a really, really good test for this machine. Well, I think it's safe to say it can handle it. I mean, check this out. We had some of these sections that were a little bit thicker than I had supposed. Still got through it. And you can really tell that we're kind of pushing it to its threshold. But to be able to cut down 6-foot mat, this is pretty awesome. What I want to see now is let's switch over to that sawtooth blade, that 225, and just see how big of a difference that it really makes. So this brings up an interesting situation. I'm having a hard time just plucking it out. That's user error. Really supposed to have some needle nose pliers on hand to get this out. So when you get yourself in a situation like this, the instructions say that you just use a needle nose plier and you just kind of work it out, and then it comes right out. So that's nice. They're pretty upfront about that. Let's grab these sawtooth lines, get them installed. This is kind of exciting, and these are so easy to install. Anybody can do this. Look at that, ripping. There you go. I mean, look at this. We just cut through about 250 square feet in less than 5 minutes. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. This is pretty awesome. I feel like the sawtooth cord definitely had an advantage over the thicker matter. It's gonna be interesting to see. I'm gonna run it on the fescue real quick just to check the difference. So the concern that I have is just cut quality. So let's really get in on here. And you can see, I would expect this. You can see how frayed the ends are, right? What we want to see is if it frays it more or less using the other line. And I would dare say that sawtooth blade got a better cut. This is a really clumped area. Let's go into a lesser clumped area. See what we can find here. And again, just super frayed. So in my mind, surprisingly, the sawtooth blade is cutting cleaner on the thicker matted section. Let me know what you feel down below.
These last three scenarios were very impressive with the trimmer mower, but I really want to put it to the test. So I moved over to this other property. Next on the list is really how convenient is it to use it along a fence line. And this property has a ton of fence line that is overgrown with cheatgrass. And this machine is just cutting it like butter.
What I'm most excited about is to see how it performs here. We've got a slope. It's probably a good, I don't know, 32 degrees. But in my mind, these are the situations where this type of machine really proves its worth, because putting a mower on that is not very fun. You don't know what's underneath. You don't have rocks or whatever. Worst case scenario, we're gonna break some line.
In an effort to push this trimmer mower as hard as we possibly can, under the guidelines of what it says it's capable of doing, I encountered what I believe is Russian thistle, also known as tumbleweed, all over this property. It is so thick and dense that not even the goats are really interested in mowing this down. So we're gonna put our best effort forward and let's see what happens.
Well, how was that for a test? I feel like we put it through the maximum capability according to the label. These weeds, they're hardy, they're super dense, and this is what we're left with, right? The trimmer line has broken off by about 4.5 inches on average. Now, I will say this, I didn't soak the trimmer line for 72 hours in water like the manual states, but I feel like even if we did do that, we might have gotten 30% less break off, but for the most part, very happy with what we're left with. Well, let me know your thoughts. Let's get into my favorite part of the video, which is going over the pros and the cons. The DR Power Trimmer Mower, it's a niche product that just makes sense. In the areas that I'm most nervous to use a traditional lawnmower, spots full of rocks, dips, hose lying around, even random pieces of tin, I don't hesitate with this machine. Since it uses trimmer line instead of a traditional rotary blade, there's no upward suction, and I'm not stressing out about breaking something expensive, and time-wise, sped me up easily 80% over pushing a mower through the same spots, and I could get closer to the edges without worrying. Now, the benefit of using a rotary mower over this is that you can bag and mulch, and the blade chops the materials into finer pieces that decompose quicker. But if I run the trimmer mower often enough, that really doesn't matter. It's extremely maneuverable. The 22-inch wide deck gets through jobs fast, and the line lasted longer than I expected. The quick lock head makes swapping lines simple, and I like that you don't risk destroying a steel blade on hidden debris. Now, on the flip side, the line does wear, and depending on density, I'd expect somewhere between 7,000 and 15,000 square feet before you need to reload, especially if you're not soaking the line in water, as the instructions suggest. But I will say, for me, the Sawtooth line gave me the cleanest cut quality, especially in taller grass and weeds. Now, when it comes to fuel usage, I went over about 15,000 square feet of area with the machine. I filled up less than 2 times. Now, of course, that's all going to depend on how dense the material is that you go through. Noise-wise, it was super manageable and actually less than a gas mower, and the vibration in the handles was minimal. The machine stores and transports easy as well. These front handles, they fold down, and it takes up less room than most mowers. Now, as far as maintenance goes, pretty straightforward. Checking to top it off the oil, swapping the line, maybe a filter occasionally. Some of these Briggs types engines, though, they run on oil top off instead of regular oil changes, but other models in the DR Power lineup do require an oil and a filter every so often. So follow your machine's manual to figure out which one of those that you got. The self-propel is what makes it feel almost effortless. You're gliding more than pushing. The only quirk that I ran into was every now and then the wheels wouldn't disengage when trying to back up. A little rocking freed it up, but worth noting. What I really like is the engine stays running even when the clutch isn't engaged. So you can stop the head, move around, then fire it up instantly without restarting the mower. So here's how I feel. The DR Power trimmer mower is built for the spots a mower just doesn't belong. Pastures, fence lines, trails, forest edges, and rough ground. Frankly, I wish I would have known about this product sooner. Right tool for the job. But we ran the test so you could judge for yourself. As per the usual, I'll post links to the product in the description of the video. In the meantime, guys, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, hit me up down in the comments down below. You know I'd love to help you guys out. Until next time, guys, the Pest and Lawn Ginja. We're slaying trimmer mowers. Hadouken!